Alrighty folks, it's your boy Tacho here, and we're back for some more Fire Emblem Heroes. Okay, so we got the Datamine for the upcoming Spring banner. So we got a couple of things to talk about here. We've got info on the new units, and we also have info on the upcoming Tempest Trial, as well as stuff for the upcoming Hall of Forms round. So definitely some interesting stuff, and the banner is actually going to be dropping in T-minus 1 hour and 14 minutes as of me recording this video. I am actually a little bit late to the uptake on this one, because your boy was feeling pretty nauseous in the head, so I had to take a nap there. But I digress, here we are. So we're going to start things off by talking about the brand new units on the banner. And we're going to start with our girl Tsundere Severa. And her stats are going to be 39 HP, 37 attack, 40 speed, 24 defense, and 17 res. And her BST is 157, and she's got super boons in both speed and defense. So her BST really is irrelevant here. First of all, she's cavalry, so her BST was doomed from the start. But it's like, it doesn't matter. She comes with a cavalry dual skill anyway. So if you wanted to run her in high scoring modes, you'd be able to do that. And a lot of people have been comparing her to Reinhardt, because she does have a brave attack effect on her tome. Only thing is, unlike Reinhardt, her brave attack is very conditional, and for the most part, I want to say that you're not really going to be able to get it to activate that easily. So how it works is either Severa or one of your other units has to have entered combat during that turn at least once, and then afterwards she is going to be able to get the brave attack effect on her tome. So a little bit conditional. Basically on the second round of combat and onwards, that's when it'll work. And if you're playing in a mode like Aether Raids, then it's going to be a little bit difficult to actually get that to go off consistently, especially if she's going to be your main unit for hitting and running. I think I would have liked her a little bit better if she had the null follow-up effect as opposed to the brave effect, like we've seen on units like Severa, or she is Severa, on Selena. Well, actually, I guess she is Selena as well, right? I mean, Selena from Sacred Stones, the Blue Tome Cavalry Selena, as well as Byleth and Kid Merrick and like all these crazy tome units. When they have null follow-up and then you give them either Wind Sweep or Water Sweep, they are very annoying to deal with. So I think that effect would have worked out a little bit better for her. But the brave attack is definitely going to be crazy, especially when she can get it to go off. Her base speed being at 40 with the speed super boon is pretty insane. So she'll be able to quad once that happens. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to Inigo up next. So Inigo's got 40 HP, 38 attack, 40 speed, 22 defense, and 27 res. And he's got a BST of 167 with a super boon in speed. So Inigo doesn't have a perf weapon, unfortunately. He comes with the carrot bow, or actually that's not what it's called. It's called a springy bow, if I'm not mistaken. And what it does is it's going to grant attack and speed up 5 to Inigo, and it's also going to nullify his penalties to attack and speed, assuming he's not, or assuming the foes are equal to or above 75% HP. And that effect is going to carry out throughout the banner, so all of the inheritable weapons on this banner are going to do the exact same thing pretty much. Not a terrible weapon effect there. It's basically like Carrot Cudgel except for attack and speed. So you may be able to get some mileage out of that on some of your units. And 38 attack and 40 speed, pretty solid attack and speed combo there. So Inigo seems like he could be a decent unit, but without having access to a perf weapon is going to hurt him in the long run a little bit. Okay, next up we have the 4-star demote. So we got Minerva over here. I really like this artwork for Minerva, by the way. So she's got 41 HP, 36 attack, 38 speed, 35 defense, and 18 res for a BST of 168. And Minerva has a super boon in plus speed. So a pretty solid stat line, if I'm being honest, especially with the plus speed. So for a 4-star demote, this Minerva is pretty cool. But it's going to be a debate on whether or not you want to build this Minerva or go ahead and build Petrine from the Grail Shop. Petrine's perf weapon is pretty insane, so I think you probably will get a little more mileage out of Petrine in the long run. But Minerva is definitely not too shabby, especially if you like her and you want to go ahead and build her up. There's also, what's-her-face, Ingrid from the previous banner that I think is probably better than Minerva without any merges at all, just because of how insane her weapon was. But that's just all, like, up for debate. Whichever character you like the most is the one you gotta build, pretty much. This game, you gotta be playing it for whatever makes you the most happy, right? You don't want to play for just power creep and such. Okay, so now let's move on to the harmonized hero of the banner. And we have Na and Myrrh. So their stats are going to be 40 HP, 38 attack, 25 speed, 40 defense, and 35 res. And that gives them a BST of 178. And they have a super boon in plus attack. So pretty strong BST for a flying type unit there. Also pretty strong BST for a harmonized hero in general. They're going to be able to be ran in arena mode or any of those high scoring modes if you manage to get them to plus 10. If you're a whale, that is. So they will be able to hold their own in pretty much all the modes. They're also a very strong Omni tank if you need them for Aether raids, because they're a colorless type unit. So that means they're not really going to have too many type weaknesses in terms of color. And then their weapon, or their harmonized skill, is also granting them Iote's shield, and it's stopping the foe from doing a follow-up attack. So that's also going to be pretty strong if you need them to bait. And their weapon gives them unconditional damage reduction at 40%. So again, that's also pretty strong. They're just a really good unit overall. It's really unfortunate that we're about to get the Hero Rises banner, and I think that's just going to be way better for a value of your orbs if you want to hold out for that one, as opposed to summoning on this banner here. So that's just my thoughts overall, but the harmonized hero this time around is very good. I guess one slight you could give them is that they are a little bit more geared towards the other modes as opposed to Resonant Battles itself. Because in Resonant Battles, you want to go balls to the walls offense and get rid of those thieves, while this Myrrh is going to be mainly a bait unit and an enemy phaser. So just keep that in mind. And the final unit that we have here is the Tempest Trial prize. So this guy is Saleh, and apparently no one knew who he was. Well, I'm sure people know who he is because Sacred Stones is one of the more popular games. But the fact that they made him a cavalry axe unit really threw me off. So I had trouble figuring out who he was just by seeing his sprite on the map. And you would think with a unit like Saleh, whenever they added him, they would make him a tome unit instead of a melee type unit. So I am a little bit disappointed with his weapon type. Had they made him a green tome cavalry, I think that would have been really good, because we don't really have too many buildable green tome cavalry units, or just green tomes in general. I think the last time we got a free-to-play green tome unit was the Kid Minerva, or I was about to say Kid Minerva. I meant to say Kid Azura from the Adrift banner, and that was so many ages ago. So I don't know why they didn't just go ahead and make this guy a green tome. His weapon would have been way better for tomes as well, because of course he has the springy axe with the same weapon effect that all the units on this banner have. And come on, another axe. Like, we have so many good inheritable axes already. Another weapon type definitely would have benefited from it a lot more. So, very unfortunate, but I digress. He's got 41 HP, 37 attack, 36 speed, 26 defense, and 28 res, for a grand total BST of 168. And they did him dirty and gave him a super boon in defense as opposed to attack or speed. So that definitely sucks. He's competing with the Pelagian Chris that we got not so long ago, because he has a good attack and speed combo. And he has pretty solid defenses overall, so he's going to be a fair brawler if you need a quick and powerful axe cavalry type. But the fact that he came after that male Chris, or the Plegian male Chris, I think is definitely a slight to Saleh overall. So if people built up that Plegian Chris, and now they're seeing this guy, it's probably like, wow, this guy is a big skip. So yeah, they totally should have made him a green tome instead. I'm going to stick by that for all the way through this video. Alright, so here is his base kit. Like I said, he's got the springy axe. I don't even know if this is going to be better than the Plegian axe, or what's the axe that Dex Swabber, the one that gives you lull attack and defense 5. But it is a very solid weapon if you want to go for offense. Alright, we got reciprocal aid. We have HP and res 2, which he unlocks at 4-star. And then we got rouse attack and res 3, which he unlocks at 5-star. So I guess the rouse skill, we'll take the rouse skill for a free-to-play unit. It's definitely better than freaking chill attack. But rouse attack and res, I don't know, man. It's like, I'm not really a fan of the self-buffing C-slot skills. If you want to buff yourself in the C-slot, I think what you want to do is probably have another unit that has access to a tactic skill. And that's how you're going to get your hard buffs. Because you want to have your own unit that you want to focus on fighting, have different skills that are going to help them out. So maybe joint drive attack or one of the smokes or something would be better. But rouse attack and res for fodder, I guess it's not too shabby. As far as self-buffing C-slot passives go, the rouse skills are one of the better options. So we will take this as free to play. Okay, this is a little bit blurry here, but as we can see, the next sacred seals that we're going to be getting are Bracing Blow and Speed and Defense Solo. So Bracing Blow, when you initiate combat, it's going to grant defense and res up 4 once you unlock it at level 2. And Speed and Defense Solo is going to grant speed and defense up 6 as long as you're not adjacent to an ally. So pretty solid sacred seal with the solo skill. Long awaited after we've already had speed and res solo. I was wondering when we would get speed and defense solo. They're very nice sacred seals if you want to go for a bait unit that has a lot of speed and possibly even speed-based damage reduction. So that's definitely a nice one. Bracing Blow, though, I'm not sure if you're going to want to run this over something like Sturdy Blow or Sturdy Strike or Mirror Strike or whatever. The ones that grant attack or speed and then grant the defense. Those are probably a little bit better in my opinion. And to wrap us up, we're going to go ahead and head over to the Face subreddit. And the homie Banpei Kun is holding it down once again for us. Shoutouts to him. I'm going to leave a link to this post in the description of this video so you guys can pretty much take a look at all the stuff for yourself in detail. But the one thing I want to talk about here is going to be the round of Hall of Forms that we're getting. So they are following the pattern all over again. And it looks like this time it's going to be Echoes. I wonder when the next Echoes banner is actually going to be. Echoes has been sitting in limbo forever now, so it's a little unfortunate. But I digress. Our Hall of Forms units are going to be Fallen Celica, Fallen Berkut, Fallen Delthea, and Sonia. So a pretty strong batch of units, honestly. Like, Fallen Celica is really good after her refine. Definitely one of the better enemy phasers you can go for. And being able to just get distant counter and maybe spurn 3 and joint drive attack or joint drive speed or whatever. Maybe even pulse smoke or pretty much anything. The sky is the limit when it comes to Hall of Forms, of course. So Fallen Celica is going to be a really strong one to go for. Fallen Delthea is free to play, so she's an easy merge project to get to plus 10. I don't really think she's the best of the Blue Tome infantries, though, that we can build up. I think that merit goes to Brunya, actually. But Fallen Delthea is still pretty good in her own right. And then we have Sonia, of course, who has been the queen of infantry pulse teams since the beginning. She was the unit that pretty much made me want to run that type of team. So Sonia, being able to deck her out with some crazy stuff is going to be really nice. You can get stuff like Special Spiral and Mirror Impact and such. So she's going to be a really good one. I think really the only one in here that's not all that crazy is Fallen Berkut. he really has not aged well at all, so that's a little unfortunate for him. But that pretty much covers everything I wanted to talk about in this update. So thanks so much to everyone for watching the video. Let me know in the comments section down below what your thoughts are on the new units that we're getting, as well as the new round of Hall of Forms. But like I said, I think this banner is going to be a big skip. What you want to do is go crazy on that Hero Rises banner instead, because the value on that one is just completely out of control. So that's all for tonight. This is your boy Tacho signing out. Thanks so much for watching the video, guys, and I will catch y'all again on the flip side.